Are you going to tape this?
Rolling.
Here we fucking go. Now the problem here is that it's multi-level. Okay, so you got the stripes and then of the leather, and then the lizard below it. So you could risk breaking the needle when you go over or onto one of the bulky pieces. So we're doing the same thing we always do. We're going to control the needle and the bobbin thread underneath the presser foot and start our tack. So we're going to do at least 2 stitches with this before we let go of the thread. Okay, so now we're going to do our little corner turn. Thank God for the magnifying glass. And down we go. This is a pretty smooth, flat area, so we're not going to hesitate. But once we come over here to where it transitions up onto that bump, we've got to be really careful not to bend or break the needle. Okay, so our corner is safe from the bump, but now as we turn the workpiece, we're going to approach that little lip. So I'm going to do this one absolutely by hand to make sure that the needle doesn't bump the table, and it's right on that dangerous spot right up against the interface where the low and the high from the leather and the snakeskin meet. Okay, so the needle didn't bump the table, so we're pretty happy there about that. And onward we go. But now we have the same type problem in reverse order, where we're going to step down off of this step onto the low spot, past the leather there, and onto the snakeskin. So we're going to hand guide that. And since we're so close to the corner, it's going to be another hand guide again. But this one's going to be a knee lift and minor adjustment to get it exactly in the corner. Bury the needle, make our turn. Okay. Here we go. Workpiece is getting folded over against the mast. Guide it in. We're going to do like 3 or 4 little hand stitches here, right into the corner to keep it from turning up. Okay, bury that thing, pass bottom dead center, and turn the piece. Okay, now because we went so far out to the edge, we're just a little too close to the edge of the workpiece, so we're going to kind of do the first one as a little fudgy to get it lined up so we have enough edge so that it doesn't rip the little lizard skin here. And on we go. Now we're getting that little bumpy interface. Hand guide that. We made that pretty good. And we know we're not going to have any problem in the next turn because the bump is beyond it. Okay, I'm going to take advantage right now while it's close to tie my knot. Obviously it's going to be difficult, so get out a tool. Just a double overhand fisherman's knot. Gone. Okay, we're going to have one problem here where we step down, so we can do 2 or 3 stitches before we have the bump. Look at that, right on the interface where the hazard is. So we're just going to put that in slowly by hand, and then continue on into our corner, and then micro adjust right before we pierce it. It's in, needles at bottom dead center, make the turn a little further than the turn requires so we get our seam allowance again. We're back in, and then we bring it back into parallel. We're right on the interface where the threat is for the bump, so we're going to do this again by hand. Okay, we know we're good. Okay, we made the corner there, make the turn. Not quite enough. I'm going to go back. And then this time, because it's going to overshoot too far, I'm going to use the reverse pedal to guide me in. And right on the mark, make the turn. These fonts were hand designed by Liz Schultz. She sat here, poor gal, and hand drew these things for Mandy. Okay, now this lip is going to be in the way as we make the turn. Because the presser foot's up there like that, I got to make sure that it does a continuous stitch without interrupting. Looks like we just threw a loop in there. See how that looks. It looks like we're okay. We're approaching the bump thread again. By hand, good to go. Onward, and we're approaching our very first stitch. We're going to do our disguise in the first hole there. Pierce it. Make the turn. And this one we're going to have to do two. And pull our needle thread out so we can get the piece out of the table. And it looks like we made a pretty good job there. A little hand tie. And out we go. There's an E. So you know the interesting thing about sewing, and just like anything else, it's just a series of simple tricks that once you pick up a couple of them and start applying them in a sequential order, you can do just about anything you want. So what we did here is we followed the edge of the presser foot, and we made sure that by burying the needle past bottom dead center, we didn't skip any stitches in the corners. And we understood that there's a threat where the bump is, so that we don't want to bend or break the needle, so we carefully guide over that. And once you think about these simple things and apply them in a natural sequence, then you can do very big items and don't end up giving yourself a bunch of trouble. Hope this is helpful. Have a great day. Thanks.